You're watching the Barn TV. It is my very, very, very special privilege to introduce to you the star of the night. It is Mr. C. How are you, sir?
I'm marvellous. Didn't do any harm in the barn, to be fair. But smashed it. Tore the granny out of it. I mean, that's what you do, right?
Yeah, that's what you do best, sir.
Well, you know, yeah, I was, been around the block a couple of times.
Speaking of which, there are, for those at home that should know, that should get to know, you've had a very illustrious career, haven't you, sir? Where did it all begin?
Oh, well, it all began 50,000 years ago when man started hitting a stick on a piece of wood and going, and there was a rhythm. No, seriously. I started rapping when I was only 16, like on street rap, pretty much. And then I got involved in the clubs in my late teens, and then made my first record with Evil Eddie Richards when I was 20, and that came out when I was 21 in 1987, Deep House track, and I was talking about the powers of meditation and positive thinking on that. And then I decided after that tune in August 87 that I'd become a DJ, because I wanted to do more than just do vocals. I wanted to get into production, and I knew there was something about beats that altered people's states and that I could take them on a magical journey with it. So I thought, you know what, I need to start to DJ and get people on journeys and do something a little bit magical. And so it started back then, 87, late 87.
You were part of something magical and very, very big at the time, of course, which was the Shaman.
I was lucky enough to get involved with the Shaman. They started off as an indie rock band and moved down to London to get a publishing deal and a label deal, and got turned on to Acid House when they had, like myself, Colin Favour, Eddie Richards, Kid Bachelor, all the old school, and they changed their blueprint from rock to house. And then they got me involved, got me to do a rap on a track called Move Any Mountain, Progen, and it kind of went from there. I started off as a guest vocalist, and then after that they invited me on to be a full member of the band, and then boom, off it went.
Did you ever imagine the Shaman to be as big as it became?
Yeah, I kind of knew. I kind of knew. Like when I did the Move Any Mountain track, I knew that was going to be big, and then once I got properly involved, I knew it was going to go off. There was no two ways about it. Otherwise I wouldn't have done it.
Those must have been magical times, man.
It's what?
Those must have been magical times.
Oh, they were magical. I mean, we did so much. We did 3 world tours. I got to do Top of the Pops like 10 times, you know what I mean?
How was that? That must have been a bit surreal.
It was hilarious. You know, you got all these little kids, like dancing along to your tune, and you're perverting them with like twistedness. And how you got away with it, I don't know, because every song was about altered states. Like Move Any Mountain was about taking acid. Love, Sex, Intelligence was about altered states via orgasm, and then there was Ebenezer Good. We all know what that was about. And Boss Drum was about altered states via percussive sound, and then there was Forever People, which was about telepathy and coming together when you're high. Coming on strong speaks for itself, and it was tune after tune, and how we kept getting away with it. It was like, really you're going to let us say that on TV, and you're going to let us say that on radio, and like talk about this stuff in mainstream media, really? So obviously, what do you do?
How did you, obviously then you evolved from that, talking a little bit about some of the stuff you did, obviously, with your venue as well at the end, which was a huge part of dance culture.
It was. I mean, like when I always said, like with the Shaman, if I ever make it as a pop star, because I was always been an underground like DJ, house, techno, acid, and I said, if I ever make it, I'm going to pump the money back into the underground. And like Shaman kicked off, and I started a label called Plink Plonk, got a lot of the kids in, like people that nobody knew to make music, and mixed it up with like a lot of really good producers. Opened a studio called The Watershed, again, like, and then the last remaining bit of my money I pumped into the end. I didn't buy a house, didn't buy a car, and I always said I'd pump it all back in, and that's exactly what I did, and that worked. And we managed to open a club called The End, and it was the best club in the world.
It was. I was there a few times, and just unbelievable experiences, and probably one of the best sound systems I'd ever heard in my life.
Yeah, well, we really tried to get it right, and we had Thunder Ridge do a sound system, and I remember we started off with a 4-way digital crossover, and then we upgraded, and like we put a new system in, and people were like, hold on, you've got the best system in the world, you're upgrading? I'm like, yeah, well, there was new technology came, and like the Thunder Ridge boys, they invented a 5-way digital crossover, and they patented 19 different ways of sound dispersion with that system. And you've got to give people the best that you can possibly give, and that system, I don't think I've even heard anything like it today.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what happened? I mean, how did you move on from that? Because obviously,
well, we had 13 years as the best club in the world, and the whole building got bought out by a property developer, and for 3 years he was egging the granny out of us to get out. Like, come on, get out. And we're like, no. And then it was in 2008, July, we had a meeting with them, and they said, your lease will run out in 8 years from January 2009, and we're not going to renew the lease, and we'll give you 8 years profit at your best year.
Nice.
So what do? We work for another 8 years and maybe earn as much as that, or we probably wouldn't, or we quit now and take the money. And for me, that was a no-brainer, because I'm from a very poor family, and I gave like my brother, my two brothers, my sister, my mum, my auntie, like percentages of the club. So for me, it was just like a win-win situation. I was able to sort out their lives.
And of course, it gets to live on in infamy as a result of that as well.
Yes, infamy. Everybody's got it, infamy.
So obviously, from then until now, you've obviously been producing and doing things, still playing out.
I was a bit lazy for a few years. Only putting out 1 or 2 EPs, two or three EPs a year. But in the last couple of years, I've been very busy. I put out a new album. Only came out in April. I spent 2.5, 3 years working on that. It's called Smell the Coffee.
That's what I was going to ask you about.
Yeah, and also relaunched my record label Super Free. So yeah, now I've got the studio bug back, and I'm making a lot of tunes. I've got the album out. I put a single out before the album that wasn't to do with the album, called I'm Gonna Give You Some. A bunch of remixes. I did a remix for David Scuba and Mikhail Stravestan, a very political track called Money Dish, and I've got a few other remixes of a few other people, and I've started a new project as well as a collaboration with Afi Youssef called the Indigo Kids, which I'm also releasing on Super Freak. So I've got a lot of stuff coming out. Like I said, I put the album out. I've got 3 singles coming from the album. I've got Open Up next month with Victoria Wilson-James, and then I've got the Future EP coming out in August, and then I can't get enough coming out in October, and then I've got all my artists remixing all the tracks from the album, like all the Super Freak artists, and that's going to come out as a remix album in November called Special Blend.
Okay, so you smell the coffee and then
special blend, yeah. Right, and I've also just done a track called Hechizo, which means spell in Spanish, coming out on Get Physical as part of their new compilation for their night that they're doing at Vista in Ibiza, and that's got a whole big range of people on there. That CD's dope actually, so I'm really I'm honoured to be a part of that as well. And cracking on, making more music, and from now on in, there's going to be a lot of productions from Mr. C.
Perfect, thank you. Just one more thing about tonight. Obviously, it's part of the tour, but you're here at the barn. It's
yes.
First time in Portsmouth for a long time.
It's been a while. I've got a lot of history here in Portsmouth, as you probably know, and this little place is fucking wicked. I really like it. The people here have got a good vibe. A lot of new faces, a lot of old faces, and it's good to see that there's someone in Portsmouth, supporting the underground, doing something with integrity and getting it on. Good luck to the barn. I hope they do well.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us. It's been an absolute honour. Good luck with everything you're doing.
My pleasure.
It's been awesome. Mr. C is in the building.
Mr.
C.
You know what I mean?
Thank you. Thanks very much, man.
Thank you very much.